Hi everybody, welcome back to Fountain Pen Deluxe. I have a fun video today. I have a package from Ferris Wheel Press. It's sort of an interesting backstory that I'll share while I'm opening this package. So recently there has been some discussion, I wouldn't say controversy, well maybe, around Ferris Wheel Press. Some shipments of ink that have exploded and then they paused their large yearly sale that they were doing because of the ink issues and people couldn't take advantage of the sale prices of the inks. The owner of Ferris Wheel Press, Ray, he got onto the Fountain Pen Facebook group. He was answering questions, just giving the perspective from Ferris Wheel Press, and he offered to send people some fountain pens to review. I actually didn't even know that Ferris Wheel Press did fountain pens. I do have a number of their inks. The bottles are beautiful, the names are beautiful, the colors are beautiful. I have found some of them to be a little bit dry, but I do enjoy them from time to time. So anyway, long story short, I reached out to Ferris Wheel Press customer service to see if I could have a pen to review, and after some back and forth, they agreed, and that's what we have here. So I'm just going to unpackage this pen. This is the Joule, and this is Engraver's Teal. They asked me for 3 different options, and this was one of the colors that I liked. And like I mentioned, I've never used any Ferris Wheel Press pens. It's a beautiful box. You have to admit that Ferris Wheel Press does an excellent job with their packaging and their advertising. And then it comes in a beautiful leather case. Oh, it's cute, a little maple leaf because they're a Canadian company. Ferris Wheel Press embossed on the back. And here is the pen. It is beautiful. Wow. So there's no clip. It's a really rich teal color. This one is a fine. It's a steel nib, 2-tone, and it says 2010. That must be the year that they were created. And there's the F on the tip to show fine. The grip section is beautiful. It's got a little bit of weight to it, so I guess when you cap the back, it should be nicely weighted, if it does cap. All right, we'll get there, we'll get there. Okay, now let's see what's going on inside. Looks like there is something in there. You know me, always dropping things. I'm gonna put this down. What do we have in here? I'm assuming it's a converter cartridge. I literally cannot get this out. Okay, oh, there we go, there we go. So interesting, so this is the converter. It looks like there's a spring inside, and oh, I've never really seen that before. It looks like a standard sized converter. I'm sure you could use maybe other converters if you wanted to. And so this just pops on like that. And like that. This is what it looks like. I kind of like the no clip look. I don't think this caps, however. It's just not secure enough. Yeah, I would not feel comfortable capping that. Also, is it scrap? Oh! All right, don't cap the pen. Gosh, what is wrong with me? Honestly. All right, absolutely do not cap the pen. Because look, I made a mark on that and that is not coming off. Okay, you know what? Maybe I should have read some... Maybe I should have read... Are there any instructions? Oh, here we go. Okay, it doesn't say not to cap it, but I'm really angry at myself. All right, it's just on the side, so I won't see it that much. I mean, this is metal, so that's pretty sharp in there. So anyway, I thought that we could choose a Ferris Wheel Press ink to put into the Ferris Wheel Press pen, and then we can try this out. I think I actually have a good match for it. I want it to be matchy-matchy. This is Auroralis. Billowing Blush, which is beautiful. Billowing Mushroom, which I love just as much. Look at this. Here we go. Jardín Turquoise. I think that's perfect. I'd be interested to see if a fine can handle some shimmer or a knitted nettle. This is a non-shimmer. Let's see what else we have. Land of Shangri-La. It's a pretty brown. Pink Sugar Beach. Oh, Poison Envy. I got this from Atlas. It's like a purple to green. So gorgeous. The Sad Charade. Spadina Rose, and that is it for my Ferris Wheel Press inks. So what should we do? Should we try this turquoise? I think we should do it. All right, I'm gonna grab my bottle of ink. I'll be right back. All right, we are back. We have Ferris Wheel Press, Edwards Gardens, Jardín Turquoise. It's going to go into our Joule pen. This has shimmer. This is a fine nib, so we'll keep that in mind when we are inking this up and writing with it. Let's get the bottle kind of shaken up. I'm just gonna, oh, actually, I was gonna say I'm just gonna dunk this nib in here, but I don't think that you can. That's one complaint that people have about, oh my gosh. Okay, this is not going that well, actually. Is that you can't put the nib in there, but you can put this one in there. Let me get a paper towel, which I really should have had anyway. It's just the seal was off on the fountain pen ink because I have not used this in a little while. You know, so many inks to try. I got this ink from Atlas Stationers. These were some of the first inks that I bought. Let's go back in here and give it one more little shake since this is shimmer. And then we're just going to dunk this whole thing. That did not work. Maybe we'll just fill the converter without the nib. I don't know why that didn't work. We just have the converter now. Why am I always wearing white when I'm working with dark inks? All right, so we've got that now. Let me just get the top cleaned a little bit. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're putting this onto the pen. Now we're going to cap this ink so that we don't have an ink catastrophe. And then this is going back into the pen body. And we're going to cap this for 1 second so I can wash my hands and let the ink run into the nib a little bit since I was drying it with a paper towel. Okay, so we have our ink swatch book with the original Tomoe River paper. New page. Okay. Here is the Ferris Wheel Press Joule pen in Engraver's Teal. We are not capping the pen. This has a shimmer ink in it. The cap just rolled away from me. That's because there's no stopper on it. So just keep that in mind. Well, I have to say that the nib feels excellent. I know it's just a steel nib. It feels very juicy. I really like the feedback. It feels really nice. It seems to be handling the Jardín Turquoise with shimmer fine. And I think it's a perfect match, actually. Yeah, I like that a lot. I really do. Has a nice weight to it, but it's not heavy at all. The grip section reminds me of maybe a Sailor Pro Gear Slim or maybe a Decimo grip section, and I do use those. I prefer a slightly thicker pen like a Pro Gear Standard or a Vanishing Point, but it's comfortable. They have an absolutely gorgeous Joule pen in like this soft gold color. That's the one I wanted the most. Of course, they sent me what they had available. Just want to see if the shimmer is coming out. Do you hear that feedback? I think that this is a beautiful pen. I don't know why they've been getting so much backlash lately. I feel like sometimes in the fountain pen community, certain companies are the focal point or target of, I don't know what it is, people's just general anger or fed-upness with the world, whatever it might be. But from what I've seen, they seem to be a pretty transparent company in terms of answering questions and trying to engage their customers. I've never seen an owner of another pretty well-known pen company come on to a forum like a Facebook group and let people ask questions and just vent and voice frustrations and concerns. And that's not to say that people's frustrations aren't valid. People obviously have had issues with ink shipments. I understand that that is frustrating, but I don't know. I personally like to cut people some slack sometimes. I've gotten deliveries from smaller stationery shops where dust bags for superior labor were missing and ink was packed on top of a leather cover. I never come on and put anyone on blast. I don't know. I just feel like you get more flies with honey. Is that the saying? More bees with honey? I don't know. I'm sure that I'll get some comments on this video that it's a bad take and, you know, Ferris Wheel Press is bad, blah, blah, blah. But in any event, I just promised that I would do a review of the pen in exchange. I'm looking at the ink now, and the shimmer is definitely coming through, as is the sheen. It's a slightly sheening ink as well. You can definitely see that in the writing sample. It's coming through the nib. So this is a fine nib, and it's definitely not a Japanese fine. It's like a Western fine. I would say similar to like a Lamy or like a Pelican. I think that I would actually consider picking up the pink Joule or Joule in the other color that I was interested in. I am impressed with the nib. I really like the way that it feels. I like the way that it writes. I like the feedback. I like how much ink comes out. I like the look of the pen. I don't have anything like this in my collection. It's very interesting. Cigar shaped, has a nice weight to it. If I had any suggestion, it might just be to put a roll stop on the cap somewhere, because when I set that down to start writing, you can see it just rolled away. Since you can't post the pen, I just think that that might have made sense, but maybe you just stand it up like that. There you go. I think it's beautiful, very striking. Again, I appreciate that they are trying to engage with their customer base, and it seems to me trying to be transparent in their interactions with customers and listen to customer concerns. For whatever it's worth, that is my review. I think maybe for a pen paying full price, there are some little scuffs and marks on the metal here that were just like that when I received it. I think just the metal components almost make it sound like something is loose, but it's not. It's just the metal on metal, which I'm not used to, because usually grip sections are not metal. And that's another thing to note. Some people don't like metal grip sections. They find them slippery or just not enjoyable to write with. That's usually how I feel. And I did not even think about the fact that this had a metal grip section. It doesn't bother me. I think that I'm going to have this out on my desk. It's a beautiful desk pen, and I will probably have it in a little stand like so. So cute. Just have to be careful with the coloring here so that it doesn't scrape off. Obviously, it's sort of like a green or teal color coding over maybe silver. So we'll have to see how this holds up over time. I will report back. I also like the fact that they include a leather pen case. So the inside is also, it's like a softer kind of velvety material. So you can just keep your pen in here if you didn't have a pen stand and have this out on your desk. I just love the little details like this that Ferris Wheel Press does. The little point, the little maple leaf. I do think that it's thoughtful, just like their ink bottles. I think that the details are thoughtful and it makes it beautiful, and I appreciate beautiful details. Are they not super functional sometimes? Maybe, but I prefer beauty over function. I always have. That is a preference thing, so everybody's preferences are different. I don't see any fingerprints on this pen from handling it. I think it's super beautiful. I am actually talking myself, I'm definitely 100% going to look into getting the Joule in the pink color. It's almost like the color of my nails. There you go. Ferris Wheel Press Joule or Joule fountain pen. Beautiful, very, very beautiful. And going back to the topic of things that maybe aren't really functional, it's like Ferris Wheel Press came out with an ink well, I think, or I'll put a photo up of that as well. But, you know, things like that I've seen people complain about. It's like, all right, well, if you're not really interested in something that is just supposed to be enjoyable and maybe isn't like the most utilitarian thing in the world, then just don't buy it. I've also heard people complain about the bottles and not being able to fill from the bottle, but this entire nib fit into the bottle, and I bet any other nib. Let me grab another pen so we can just see. Let's grab a Leonardo. Would this fit in there? Yeah, that would. Maybe it's the smaller bottles that you can't fill from the bottle. The larger bottles you definitely can. It's like the small colorburst bottles you can't fill from. I don't see people really talking about colorburst as much. I don't know. Those are just my unedited thoughts. Thank you, Ferris Wheel Press, for letting me check out a pen. I do think it's really beautiful. So I'm excited. I just want to keep writing with it. It's really so nice. Sometimes steel nibs surprise me. I mean, some of them are not very good, and that's actually another thing I've heard, like, oh, they're just getting steel nibs from China or whatever. I don't know. I have some Atelier Lusso pens that I paid an exorbitant amount of money for. I'm trying to grab them right now from my pen case. And these both have steel nibs. Is it something to look down on? I guess maybe people are thinking for the price. Now, of course, Atelier Lusso pens are handmade and a lot goes into them, as you can see with the material. But I do enjoy a steel nib. This is an Atelier Lusso Extra Fine. You can hear that beautiful feedback. And then this one is, I think this one's just a fine. I don't know if this is inked up. It's not. Should we put some ink in it really quickly and just try it so we can compare to the steel fine nib on the Ferris Wheel Press? I'm going to grab another Ferris Wheel Press ink to put into my Atelier Lusso. Maybe Billowing Blush. I feel like that would be such a nice match. All right, let's grab that really quickly. You think I'm ending the video and then the video just goes on and on. So here is Billowing Blush, and I had this in my collection. So this is a smaller bottle. Oh wow, look at all that shimmer in there. That's a lot. So this is probably the bottle that people say that you can't fill from, I'm assuming. That is a lot of shimmer. Let's just see. I wouldn't fill from the bottle anyway because I don't want to get the grip section weird. No, you could. You can definitely fill that from the bottle. So I wanted to come back after about a week of using my new pen and share my thoughts and final impressions about it. As you can see, it has not left my pen case for this entire week, and in fact, I have found myself reaching for this pen more than any other pen in my collection. Very satisfied and impressed with my Joule fountain pen from Ferris Wheel Press. So let's do a little bit more writing and let's talk about some of the details of the pen and how it's been working, my experience, and how it compares to other pens. I didn't look up the specs of the Joule fountain pen before I did my unboxing, and that's really my fault. I should have, so I could provide a thorough review, which is what I try to do on this channel. That is my main goal. So I'm going to do that now. This is, again, the Joule fountain pen from Ferris Wheel Press. It is $180 on the Ferris Wheel Press website. It comes with a leather, oh, I have it on my desk actually. It comes with an adorable real leather case and a two-tone number 6 steel nib. Beautiful. And then this grip section is brass with double gold plating. If you see here, it has these intricate designs. This was inspired by a historical print company, and it has vintage letterpress type blocks, shelves, rollers, mechanics, and moments on it, which is so cool. The material is a lacquer finish. And so this has a sapphire lacquer finish. The depth is really incredible. I don't know if it really comes across on the video. They do have some Joules that have a lacquer finish with shimmer, if that's more up your alley. The converter is an international size standard converter. And there is a removable nib feeder section. So I think that means that you can untwist the nib and remove it. Should we try that, even though I just got my hands clean? Let's do it so that we can learn all that there is to know about this pen, the Ferris Wheel Press Joule. Okay, so cat fur, not helpful. And yep, this will remove, which means that, oh, it's so cool. Okay, so since this is the number 6, you can outfit this with a different number 6 nib, like a Fountain Pen Revolution, or I have some from, what is this one's name? I can never remember. I purchased this on the Reddit Pen Swap, but this nib comes out, and you could, or I could, change the nib out with this nib. Both steel nibs. Both of these pens were the same price, resin, lacquer, number 6 steel nib, number 6 steel nib. That is exciting. Let's check out the scratch that I made on the beautiful lacquer when I was trying to cap this pen. You can see that even though I was capping aggressively, the only spot that had an issue is right here, and there's a tiny bit right there. So I do think that this lacquer is really on there. I've had this on my desk all week, in and out of my pen bag, opening and closing, setting the cap down, and there isn't one other mark on it. I love that it doesn't catch lint because I have ragdoll cats and there is fur everywhere, no matter what I do. But the thing I like the most about this pen is the writing experience. It's just so incredibly enjoyable. It writes every single time right away. If you recall, this has a Ferris Wheel Press ink in it. It is a shimmer and sheen ink, Jardín Turquoise. And we actually had this pen uncapped for a little bit while we were chit-chatting, so you can just see that it's good to go. And if we look inside, see what's going on with the converter, I've used quite a bit of ink because I've been using it, like I said, all week. Really love this pen. Now let's talk about the price, $180. I've heard people complaining about the price. It's just sort of interesting because I don't hear complaints from people about other similarly sized companies that sell fountain pens with steel nibs like Benu. I just checked, and a Benu Euphoria, which is their pretty much entry-level pen, is around $160, and their pens are now going upwards of $200, $250, depending on the model. What about one of my favorite? So I'm not speaking badly about them, but Leonardo. This is a limited edition Leonardo collab with Goldspot. It had this beautiful resin. I kind of lost the luck of the draw with the resin gods because it was supposed to have more like green, and it's Bella Donate. But anyway, I do love this pen. Steel nib. I think I paid upwards of two something. Leonardo. This is the, I was gonna say Momento Zero, but this is the Magico. Steel nib. Is this resin any better than this lacquer with the brass and the steel nibs? This one feels weightier, this one less so. This one is a piston fill, obviously. Let's see, I have some of my other Leonardos here. This is one of their, this is the flex nib. Oh no, the elastic nib. Again, steel, more expensive than the Ferris Wheel Press. Not inked up, so that's not helpful. And then we have the Kintsugi, which is a beautiful pen. Again, resin, steel, nib, or the elephant in the room, at least for me. What about Esterbrook? I've sold literally every Esterbrook I've ever purchased, starting with the SD Sweet Dreams, then the SD Esterbrook Winter White Piston Fill, then the Esterbrook Coffee Monsters co-collab. The first two wouldn't write. I had the Sweet Dreams tuned in person by an expert nibmeister and paid $60 extra, so that was a fail. And then the Winter White I purchased secondhand, also didn't work. And then the TCMC had a grip section that was basically all dark brown, like this color, when it was supposed to be a beautiful coffee and cream swirl. So I sold that. All of those pens were $180 or more. I guess that's my question. Why does Ferris Wheel Press get so much flack for their pen being $180? I went and signed up for their rewards program the other night, which I hadn't done before because I always purchase my pens from stationery stores. I never purchased directly from a pen company, so I'd never been on the Ferris Wheel website before, and their rewards program is crazy. I already have racked up like 65,000 points, which is almost $35 off of an item or an order. I saw today that their carousel pens, which are, I believe, stainless steel pens that are similar to a Kaweco, are 30% off. So it seems like they regularly hold pretty great sales. I guess my final thoughts after using this all week: excellent pen. I love the design. It's grown on me so much. I mean, I liked it to begin with, but now I just think that it's so cool. They have another pen that I want to purchase next. It's called the Bijou, and instead of this section of cap detailing, it has this design, like the shape of their ink bottles, which means that the pen and or the cap won't roll because obviously that's has an edge, so it will stop it from rolling. And the colors are gorgeous. They have some really beautiful vintagey lace, light pink, dusty rose kind of colors. I have one in my cart right now. The only thing that I've seen that I wonder about is that it looks like they only offer their pens with a fine or medium nib right now. I usually prefer extra fines or broads. I don't really fall into the medium category. I just find it's sort of like a blah area for me. It makes my writing look blobby. I like my pens to be either very precise or to show off ink nicely. I'm just curious, maybe they are planning to add more nib sizes in the future, or maybe they sell them separately. I didn't see that on the website, but since you can take this nib out and it's not friction fit, I wonder if they do that. Or of course you can change it out yourself. Maybe we should do that. I have a Fountain Pen Revolution number 6 nib. That might be fun. Should we try that really quickly? Let me grab it. I have it right here actually. There's something in here. Let's see. Oh, this is my Atelier Lusso. I purchased a broad nib from him to go with my pens. So I have a number 6 broad nib that could go into my pen. Okay, I think I found it. It was in my bag with some of my flex nibs. And here we go. Look, Fountain Pen Revolution Flex. This is fun. This is when fountain pens start becoming more and more fun, when you start realizing how you can switch things around without destroying them. This is a Fountain Pen Revolution Flex nib. Let's hot swap it. I think that's what they call it. That's when you just take the nib out and you don't take out the converter first. Well, that's dumb. I've already put this poor pen through enough. Taking the nib out by unscrewing it, and it's still securely on the converter, which I think is great. Very impressive. Nice seal there. The nib is out. We just have the converter here, which I should have taken off first. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna put our Fountain Pen Revolution nib on here. So this just screws in, or it should, like this. Oh, this is fun. This is fun. Now that's nice and secure. Now we're going to put the converter in here. You know what? Maybe we just need a different converter. This converter might just be for this pen. It does have an excellent seal, which I think is why it writes immediately. Do I have another converter? Of course I do. All right, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put this nib, if we can, onto the Ferris Wheel Press grip section. All right, that is nice and secure. Now we have this converter that we can fill with whatever we want. So what should we put in here? Let's put my new DeAtramentis ink. I haven't tried it out yet. This is the scented apple blossom. Let's just do that. All right, nice full fill. Let's clean that off really quickly. I don't know where to put my other pen. And now need to put this converter on. Now let's put this into the body. Okay, fits very nicely. Oh, does the cap fit? See, this is the stuff that you just need to play around with. It does, it fits. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. Okay, this opens up like a whole different world. I shouldn't have capped the ink bottle yet because I need to dip it a little bit to get this going. Wow. So even though the Ferris Wheel Press nib is excellent, you can swap it out with other number 6s and a standard cartridge converter. So there's a fountain pen revolution. Nib, and this is obviously a flex steel. And I guess you can do that with other pens. I've heard people say you can do that with SDs, which I learned about after I sold my SD Sweet Dreams when I had the nib worked on by a nibmeister, and he tried to make it into a cursive, smooth italic. Then after I sold it, the person who purchased it said, "Oh, thanks. I was just looking for a pen body, but I'm excited to try this nib out." And I thought to myself, what? Yeah, so with some of the steel nibbed pens that people know and love, you can switch out the nib. I know Esterbrook you can. I don't think you can on a Leonardo, unless you mess around with the friction fit, but I don't think it has a removable grip section. But check that out. That is so cool. Why did I fill up this converter all the way? Exciting! You know what's not exciting is the prospect of editing and uploading this. Maybe I can just start putting chapters and I can upload videos with random talking and writing in them. Do people watch those? I guess I typically don't, and so I assume other people don't, but then I see that some people post that way and it seems to work for them. I guess it's whatever you can do, right? Whatever the bandwidth is. Let's see, this is DeAtramentis Apple Blossom. Woohoo! Well, I'm having way too much fun here. Suffice it to say, love, love, love my new Ferris Wheel Press pen. So I want to take a look really quickly at the Bijou pen. It is another lacquer pen. Oh, that one has a two-tone number 5 steel nib. So the nib and feed is removable, but it's a number 5, and the Joule is a number 6. The number 6 is the nib size that you typically see in pens. I think it's like if we look at a Sailor Pro Gear and a Pro Gear Slim, see how the nibs are a little bit different in size. That's sort of what we're dealing with the Ferris Wheel Press pens. So I'm glad that I looked that up because I do prefer a number 6 nib. It's just, you know, overall bouncier. And is this one out of ink too? I need to clean and re-ink my pens. I've not done that yet in my wonderful storage drawer that I created and am very proud of. In fact, my husband was admiring my handiwork as well. Oh my gosh, I really need to get some of these pens working. This is not cool for my limited edition Sailors. Yeah, okay. Well, that's a video for another day. Maybe I can go through and clean and ink some of my pens. Maybe I should make that like a weekly video so that I can start using my pens a little bit more and giving them all some love, because I have no idea what's going on with some of them, and now I'm just getting distracted with my pen collection. So, okay. I am going to end this video. Thank you, Ferris Wheel Press, for the opportunity to try out your beautiful fountain pen. I did not know that you guys had fountain pens. So much fun, so enjoyable. I'm so happy that I figured out that I can swap out the nibs. And look at that. It just writes right away. And so I guess what's going to happen is I'm going to order another Joule, maybe the vintage lace Joule, when it comes back in stock. By the way, this is Clairefontaine paper. I thought we could just switch it up a little bit. Love it. I love when companies put out products that actually work and live up to, I was going to say hype, but I haven't really seen any hype around this pen. If anything, I've just seen negative comment after negative comment. And you know, I don't think that they sent me a perfect pen because like I mentioned, there's a few tiny scuffs in this brass ring and maybe it's just the way that it's stamped. If anything changes and I notice any issues with the lacquer or just the writing experience in general, I will be sure to do an update at a later time. But that is my review as of January 2026. Thank you, as always, for joining me. I appreciate every one of you. I hope that you will come check out my birthday haul and tell me whether I need to get myself in check or if all of my birthday presents to myself are warranted. I think they're warranted. All right, that's it. Talk to you later. Bye.